Do you collect stickers?
I do all the generations in FlashBoard. It's convenient when all the relevant neural networks are in one place and on one page. Okay, before I start explaining how I made this video, let me give you a couple of tips to ease your struggles with using Seedance 2.0. I've done hundreds of generations, and I'm ready to share advice that's actually useful, advice that will save you money and time when trying to get the results you want. So, the first and most important thing, using references for video generation. Seedance 2.0 supports up to 9 input references. For the neural network to understand what you want and deliver the desired result, you need to give it visual cues so it doesn't invent these elements on its own. For example, in the first scene, I wrote a prompt and only provided a reference of the main character. With the same prompt, Seedance 2.0 produced completely different results. In the first video, I liked the beginning. In the second, I liked the ending. But here's the problem. I can't splice them together in editing because the elements in these videos are completely different. If I try to combine them, the difference will be noticeable, breaking the narrative flow. The solution in such cases is to use specific references. In this scene, I used a reference of the main character, the store, the location where the action takes place, and the old lady with the robotic arm. All subsequent generations will contain these elements, and we'll be able to splice them together easily since there won't be any major differences. You might ask, how do you make references? Honestly, don't overcomplicate it. Carefully read the script, identify the key moments, objects, and characters, and generate them in NanoBanana Pro. I generate reference images in 16:9 format and 2K resolution. For example, in the first scene, the key elements for us are the main character, the store, and the old lady with the robotic arm. We generate them separately so we can later feed them as references to Seedance 2.0. So, to summarize the first and probably most important tip for controlling video generation in Seedance 2.0. First, identify the key elements in your script, then generate them in NanoBanana Pro, then generate the video in Seedance 2.0, and finally edit the successful shots together. This way, you save your credits for future generations and get the desired result quickly. The second important tip for a smooth narrative flow so the video doesn't abruptly cut from one scene to another is the transition. A transition from one scene to another. The same principle applies here as in the first tip, using reference images. However, the difference is that in addition to referencing individual elements, we also use the first and last frames. For example, let's take a transition from a scene in a supermarket to a scene in a desert. I have a separate video in the supermarket and a separate video in the desert. We need to create a transition between them. Without a transition, it looks like this. It might look okay, but we can enhance it so it doesn't feel like a jarring cut. To do this, we take the last frame from the end of the first video and the first frame from the beginning of the second video. In FlashBoards, this is quite easy. Click the three dots in the corner of the video and select Extract Frame. But before feeding these as reference images to Seedance 2.0, we need to upscale and improve their quality. For that, we again use Nano Banana Pro. We simply take the frame, write a prompt like upscale, improve quality, add details, and that's it. We do this because the quality of the generated video in Seedance 2.0 depends on the quality of the input references. If we use low quality references, the result will be poor. So for the transition, I used reference images of the main character, the elements that must appear in the video, as well as the first and last frames. Voila! We now have a transition between scenes that doesn't break the narrative. And finally, the third small life hack, or rather, two. First, generate the main character in close-up and full length as a single collage, so that Seedance 2.0 understands what the character looks like entirely and can adapt them for any scene and any shot type. Second, add no words at the end of the prompt so that no one speaks in the frame, and no music so that Seedance 2.0 doesn't generate background music. Otherwise, it will be inconvenient to splice the shots together during editing. Now you've received the main tips for generating with Seedance 2.0, so it'll be easier for you to understand how I made the subsequent shots. First scene. As input, I used images of the main character, the old lady with the robotic arm, and the supermarket. There were 2 to 3 generations that could be spliced together, which is exactly what I did. Next, I made the second scene, at a water park in the desert. The inputs included toy water blasters, a desert water park location, grocery shelves, SWAT team members, a doll, and a red and green checkered towel. I generate 2 to 3 to 4 shots at once to pick the best moments and splice them together. For the towel flying shot, I did separate generations featuring the main character, the same water park, and the same towel, so the location and the towel would remain consistent with the previous scene. I got lucky here. The slides are almost identical, so the splice isn't very noticeable. But keep in mind, the AI might change colors as it sees fit, so it's better to specify that in the prompt. Then, in the desert scene with giant worms, I used images of the main character, giant worms in the desert, and the same towel. Originally, I wanted him to fall into a sand funnel, but in one generation it created quicksand. I liked that moment and decided to keep it. Yes, sometimes Seedance 2.0 can suggest an unusual visual because we don't describe everything in extreme detail. We give it some creative freedom. For the Egg-Confrontation scene, I ran many generations before picking the right one. Each time I got a different result, but none of them worked. Unfortunately, we have a character limit in the prompt, 1,500 characters, so I couldn't describe this moment in detail, and Seedance 2.0 generated the scene differently every time. I didn't originally plan a flying through the sky with chickens scene. It came to me during the generation process. Yes, that's another method to spice up your video. As the story develops, you pick a shot and build on it for the next scene, adding a bit of humor, absurdity, or an Easter egg. Seedance 2.0 handles fight scenes well, but I decided not to go that route here. Chickens don't know how to fight. The feather scene was straightforward, the usual approach with the location and main character as inputs. The prompt was clear to Seedance 2.0 with no issues. Finally, the last scene, where we use the same supermarket, the same old lady with the robotic arm, and the main character covered in feathers and egg yolk. And yes, keep in mind roughly how long a scene should be. If it's supposed to last about 10 seconds, generate 10 seconds, because at 15 seconds, Seedance 2.0 might produce errors.
Do you collect stickers?
Once all the generations are ready, I do the editing in DaVinci Resolve. It may seem like nothing is clear in this program, but after spending just a couple of hours with it, you'll be able to put together a video using basic editing. Finally, you can take screenshots of the workspace and ask the neural network any confusing questions you have. For example, what hotkey is responsible for trimming video? You might ask, how did I make the behind-the-scenes shots? The same Seedance 2.0, but the Omni version, where we can input up to 9 reference images, 3 videos, and 1 audio track. For example, we upload a reference of the same water park, the main character, a video from previous generations, and the voice the character should speak with, hit generate, and bam, the behind-the-scenes video is ready. Just imagine the creative possibilities with these features. Well, I'm off to prepare new content for you. See you!